live the life of a thug soul, lady of drugs, whatever you may be, I've done. Laid a few cats down on some bullshit now. Tell you whatever you may be, I've done. Live the life of a hustler, keeping it gangster. You can, I've done. I've been all around the world, met all kinds of guys. Tell you whatever you name it, I've done. Coming up.
Good morning. Good morning. We at the No Matter What podcast. 60 in the Drive at ESPN Hair Zone. Proprietor Mike Monroe was our sponsor. Today, the host is now the guest. We're going to interview the host. And we're going to find out what gave him his vision, what his struggles was, what his journey's been like, and what he's doing today for himself and his community, right? So with that, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Cloud. I'm the host today of the No Matter What podcast, and the guest is the real host, Jay.
Hey family, what's going on to the No Matter What Nation, man? It's an opportunity, right, to give back, man. And I'm always grateful, man, to have the opportunity to give back, man. And the antidote to our disease thinking, man, is honesty, man. So, you know, I'm glad I could find somebody, you know what I mean, to put in the chair, man, that I felt that could help me carry this message, man. Somebody that's an intricate part of my life, man. And so with that, man, you know, listen, man, you know, ain't no way to do it but to do it, man. So we're gonna jump right into it, man.
Yeah, that's hey, you know, it's always an honor and a privilege, man, when you ask me to do anything for you, man. Not only do we share a common bond as far as the recovery process is concerned, man, but you my youngin', man. Like a little brother to me, and I love you, man, and I don't throw that word around lightly. So I just want to ask you this one question, man. We're gonna start back to the childhood, right?
Right.
We're gonna start back to your home life,
Right.
And how was your home life, right? And what transpired in your home life, right? Because I know your mom, right? And I know the kind of mom she was, but I want you to tell me, right, like what it was like being at home with your siblings and your mother.
You know, the earliest I can remember, man, you know, I remember my mom and my dad separated when I was about 3 or 4. And I remember that U-Haul, right? He was in the U-Haul coming from New York, man. And moving to my grandmother's house, man. So I was raised, right, with my grandmother, my aunt, who was my godmother, my mother. Then I had 2 sisters, right? And so my brother, he didn't come till I was 10 years old. So, you know, for me, it was a struggle to survive, man, you know, to still be a man, right? Yeah. But my mother did the best she could, man. She got me involved with the big brothers. I had a big brother, and my mom is she's so brilliant, right? That I told her I didn't want I said, don't give me one of them white dudes, right? So she got me a dude from the Philippines. Right? And this dude, man, taught me how to play basketball, right? And this dude taught me how to play guitar, right? And I was like 10, 11 years old, man, at this time. He was a student at the University of Pennsylvania, man. And he used to take me down to the college, and his roommates was black, 2 twins, right? And so they had a little brother. So we would always, you know, be together, you know, going to Sixers games and stuff like that. But you know, my old heads from down the bottom, man. All the guys were like 3, 4 years older than me. My first introduction, man, was we used to get Thunderbird and go sing under the L.
Yeah, that's another question I want to ask you, man. You had like the best of both worlds. As far as like growing up in West Philly, man. Because I got a lot of homies from down the bottom, right? But you grew up down the bottom, then you transitioned from down the bottom to this part of West Philadelphia, right? Like you ain't miss a beat. You know what I mean? So like tell me about that transition, like, and tell me about the old heads that was an integral part of your life down the bottom positively and negatively, and the old heads that was up here that was an integral part of their life, positively and negatively?
Listen, man, you know, there's a lot of great dudes, man. Like I said, I was the youngest, right, on the block. So, a guy named Kenny Mason, man, and Fred, man, and Noonie and Tom. So Kenny used to he'd come to my house and tell my mom, send me outside, right? And they made me go through the kangaroo line. They made me lift weights. They made me box. So Kenny would organize it. He would organize boxing matches with the other neighborhoods or football games we played on. I mean, and they helped me develop my love for sports, man. They helped me. They wasn't doing nothing until later on. They used to like to sing. They thought they was GQ. I do love you. We down the L drinking wine, singing "I Do Love You" 11 o'clock at night, right? With that Tiger Rose, right? So, but when I moved up here, man, I was under the tutelage of Shamsuddin, Jamal. Yeah. And when I was under his wing, man, I was safe. But as soon as I left, because Sham stood on 10 toes, man.
10 toes, he still do.
Hey, Sham say no, that means no. Yeah. He ain't doing it. He gonna leave you. Yeah. And so, man, when I started hanging out with other people, man, I got curious, right? Because, they was getting the girls, they was getting the money, and I wanted all that, man. And I moved up here when I was 16. On my 16th birthday, we moved into a house, right? And it was on from there, man. It was on from there. Even at Girard College, man, we would take that blue tape back there, man, from Avon Butler. I'm talking about I was 16 years old, right? My grandmother would have a party. I would have little nips with Southern Comfort in it, drinking all week, you know what I mean? And they used to have drug raids at that school, man, you know what I mean? And I'd be in awe what they would find. I thought, I ain't know nothing about it, just weed back then. Mm-hmm. But they would find needles, pills. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
So do you attribute that the people at Girard College came from all walks of life, man, and they was there because of their home situation? Girard College was a place for them to help, like, to matriculate to live a better life. And you think some of the people brought that stuff from their environment to Girard College? Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Because we put that gang thing into the wall, man. We had a crew called the Money Five, man. Mm-hmm. So it was like a little fraternity / gang, right? And so we would be creating a little havoc around behind the wall, but the wall was a different world, man.
So as far as Girard College was concerned, education was very important for that school, right? So how did that help you as far as educationally, right? How did that help you as far as your school was going on? Let's segue from like the street life for a minute and talk about like what Girard. We're gonna get back to that, but tell me what Girard College did help you like mature as far as educational wise. Like how did it help you in your education process?
Oh, absolutely, man. So early on, before Girard, I went to a Catholic school. Right? I went to St. Ignatius, and I was one of them. I was a brilliant kid, so I would get bored. But Girard, man, Girard made education priority, man, and so I couldn't escape because I lived there. So I couldn't. It was ways when you couldn't really cut school. In a place where you live, because they know where to find you at, where you gonna really hide on campus, right? Yeah. So what I mean? But Girard College saved my life, man. I don't think I would have made it. Right? I think I would have been dead, man, had it not been.
You played basketball for Girard College, right?
Yeah, I played basketball, played soccer, I ran track.
Okay. So now, let's go back to the stuff that y'all was doing at the school didn't sanction, as far as like the drugs and the little gangs and little cliques, right? Right? How did that help? How did that affect you once you left from behind the wall to come home for the weekends and stuff like that?
So, I was a weekend warrior, right? So I wasn't a full-fledged moon game member because I only got to participate on the weekends, right? But it's when I graduated is when, when it really went down. Because, I would only come home on the weekends, so Fraser Street would be my, that would be the big...
My brother.
Yeah. That would be the big thing, every weekend, right? We go on to Fraser Street.
Fraser Street for the park.
Yeah. And then they say, y'all can't come in, y'all from the movie.
Yeah. So that's when Dana was doing the DJing.
No, I don't even think Dana.
It was his brother Chink.
Yeah, Chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chick. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because they had the house and we was straight in the basement.
Straight in the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely popping out on Fraser Street, man.
And Fraser Street was known for the house parties, man, throughout the whole neighborhood, man. And it was so let's talk about Girard Avenue, Haddington Playground, 60th Market, all the things that you did in this area. You know what I mean? Step by step, like 60th and Girard. You know what I mean? Haddington Playground, Market Street, the Moon Gang, all the stuff that you associate yourself that attributed to your addiction taking off.
Listen, man. When I first started really becoming a part of the gang, right? When we started hanging on Weird Step, right?
Weird Step.
And so when you're on Weird Step, that's when people get to know your name.
You on Weird
Right.
Step. That's actually you from the gang. You on Weird Step.
Right, you're on Weird Step. And so, I started, going down on Weird Step with my man Iran and Jamal and them, and we'd be down there drinking 40s, man. But, I remember 17 years old, man, I had my first one-on-one. And I fell in love with that joint, man.
That feeling.
$10,
$10,
man.
an ounce of syrup and a key.
Yep.
$7 for the ounces, $3 for the key.
And listen, man, so I used to get a 1-on-2.
Off the dry Sahara Desert.
And my joint took off from there, and then somebody told me, man, you can get the same. Because, the prices went up, right? And so that joint was like $70. I remember I was spending $97 a day for it. Ounce of purple, ounce of yellow, 2 cases of 4 4s. Every day. So boy told me, man, you can get the same high for a dime. And that's when I found that heroin. That dope, man. I remember my kid's mother telling me, I ain't got to worry about you cheating on me. You got that bitch in a blue bag.
So I've been knowing you for a long time, right? So I gotta ask this question, right? You know me. Did I play any part in things that you went on in your life, because I was a lot older, so you ain't hang with me, but you was under me,
right,
around the neighborhood.
When I was seeing you and Boogie running around, and you was wild and crazy, you was always on Boogie, on his shoulder, yeah. And so I'm like, and so I wanted to be like that, right? But I ain't never see y'all getting high, right? I ain't never seen you get high, but I did see you, they at your worst. And I'm like, damn, it's my old head, man. And that hurt me to my heart, right?
So when you see me and Boogie, we was always doing something that we wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Always doing. Boogie was always trying to get some money somehow, somewhere, right? I see him get hit by a car in front of the warehouse and get up and keep running. Yeah.
I was saying that. Yeah, so I had to ask that question, man, because it was a lot of dudes that were older than you, man, that really dug you, that took a liking to you, man, because of the way you carried it, man, you know what I'm saying, and the way you handled yourself, man. And I can remember, man, when I was at my worst, and you seen me, I seen the pain in your eyes. Like you couldn't believe that was me.
Right.
Right? You couldn't believe that I had went to that point in my life, right? And it hurt you, man. And then I can remember, like, once I got myself together, and I had about 10 years clean at the time, and I come out the barbershop, and I was in the chair getting my hair cut. I took out the barber, he was leaning on the car. And I came out, and I said, yo, it's time to get yourself together, man. He said, I know, old head. I don't know if that was before you went to Atlanta or after you came from there. I think it was before you went to Atlanta. Before you went to Atlanta, right? So, I just, I seen, you seen me at my worst. I seen you in the throes of active addiction, right? So I want to ask you this question, right? As far as recovery, right? And you make a decision, right, to change, because when you change our thinking, we change our life. When you made that decision to change, right, how is your life affected by that decision to change?
So, when they tell us, man, we gotta play the whole tape, man.
Right.
And so I would only play segments, right? So that's why I couldn't stay clean. I would only think about the good times that I had, right? But I ain't think about the days when I crawled on the floor like a snake, stealing money from my sister, right?
Yeah.
I ain't thinking about the days, you know, when I tried to extort my mother for her asking me to come help her, you know, at the house, man. I ain't thinking about the times that I didn't have for my children, man. Or, you know what I mean? I ain't thinking about my kid's mother, man, when, you know what I mean, when I treated her in a way that she didn't deserve to be treated, man, because, you know, all she did was really love me, man. You know, I only saw, you know what I mean, the good times, man, right? But when I started to remember, and I started to play the whole tape, man, like the people I hurt, man, like how many times, man, I see my mother in the window, man, calling my name, man, like all hours of the night, just want me to come on in the house. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't nothing I saw, right? And then when I finally saw all that, when I began to play the tape, man, and I realized that wasn't the life that I wanted to live anymore, and that my life could get so much better if I only allowed y'all to help me, man. So my pride, my ego wouldn't allow me to say I needed help, right? My pride, my ego wouldn't allow me to call nobody on the phone. You know, that phone felt like a ton of bricks, man, when I tried to pick it up to call somebody, right? Like, but it's only, you know what I mean, when I decided, man, that enough was enough, man, and then I needed some help, man, and I was going to allow some people to help me, right? Because, you know, we was talking about the other day, you got to have some people, man.
You gotta have some people. You gotta put your trust in somebody. You can't dance with everybody. You gotta find somebody to dance with, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, I hear that that when you talk about that gets you emotionally, but those emotions are good for us to feel, right? So we can understand that we don't want to be there no more, right? And I watch you, man, in your recovery walk, man. You know what I mean? And some days you're stubborn in some things, and you're not as quick to be receptive. When you play the tape all the way through, you say, I need to change this way, I think. I need to do this different, right? You know what I mean? Sometimes we bucket things that are good for us, right? But when we sit down and we evaluate, right, on how it can affect us in a positive fashion, as opposed to affect us negatively, man, we latch on to it, and that's what recovery's about, man. So we always come here, sometimes we can be a little bit resistant, right? But resistance ain't good for us, man. You know what I mean? And sometimes we gotta watch, because sometimes people see things in us that we don't see in ourselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, and so, you know, I had to ask that question, man. You know, so now, you know, you're in recovery. You know what I mean? So share with the people, man, like what recovery has afforded you the opportunity to do.
Listen, man, you know, like, you know, I had a son, man, that was played college ball. I never got to see him play one game, man. Not one game, man. And so right now, I'm able to like spend time. I'm able to, you know, take my grandson to the barbershop, like, you know what I mean? I'm able to meet my son for brunch. I'm able to, you know what I mean, to communicate with my daughter more effectively. Like, I'm able to do stuff with my granddaughter. Like, my daughter wouldn't allow me to see my grandkids. My daughter didn't speak to me for a whole year, man. And then getting that relationship back, man, mended, man, was one of the most important things to me, man. You know, I love my family, man. Like, you know, they, man, we talking about people, right? Like, I'd be nothing without them, man.
And you know, and that's one thing we share in common, man, the love for our family, man. And when you talk about like your son and your grandson, like I talk to my children every day. You know what I mean? I talk to my grandson. I talk to my sisters. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I talk to you every day. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we have. That's such a blessing. That's a treasure that you can't put monetary value. And when you talk about your family, Jay, right? Like I feel sincerity, man. I feel the sincerity in your voice, man, when you talk about your family, man. And
you know, cause you know, when we was having kids, man, you know, we were talking about like my kid's mother, her father wasn't there, right? My father wasn't there. But we talked about like me showing up, man. That was one of the things that she wanted me to be able to show up for my kids, right? And so
There's somebody. I'm sorry, Jay.
yeah.
It's John. I don't know. I was trying to interrupt us. I don't know. We ain't gonna let that happen today.
Yeah, but so you know what happens is I wanted to be a better father, right? But I ain't know how, man. I ain't had it, you know, because I ain't had nobody to show me, man. Like I ain't had nobody to teach me, right? And so I just went off of what I saw on the street, man. What I thought was cool. I just thought that, you know, pay a couple bills, buy them a couple pair of sneakers, a couple outfits, and then, you know, that's good enough.
You know, I hear you, when you talk about, yo, man, I'm gonna meet my son for breakfast, man. I hear the joy in your voice, and man, when I hear you say, I'm taking the grandkids, I'm with the grandkids. That night you say I'm getting ice cream with the grandkids. You was like a kid,
right?
You know, I'm with my grandkids. I'm getting ice cream, man. And that stuff, man, that God has allowed us, right, to have and make up for, and our children allow us for the things that we didn't do when they were younger.
Yeah.
I was fortunate in that my children, right, I got opportunity even when I was in the throes of active addiction, right, to be around, but you know, because I had sisters and a mother and family that kept them close. And that's the kind of family we both come from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're very fortunate because a lot of people in addiction has destroyed families, and some people don't rebuild with their families.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to rebuild, you know what I mean? One of the things I love to hear you say, right, and you say it a lot of times, Jay, I love sitting in my mama rocking chair while she laying across the bed and I'm talking to my mama. Right. That's just how you say it,
yeah.
Right? I'm sitting in the rocking chair in my mama room, as you say your mama, right? And I'm talking to my mama, right? And I see so much peace, right, in your face when you do that, man.
Cause I had resentments for my mother a long time. You know, my mother got married, right, and we alluded to it when she was on here, when she wanted to come back and tell the story. And I found out when we was in the supermarket, right? She used to take me to get my stuff. You know, I used to have a little store at Gerard, so I was, you know, always a hustler because my mama was a hustler. She had a hot dog cart, and so I would take, you know, sodas, cookies, you know, like cupcakes and stuff at Gerard, candy and all that. And when I seen her go to pay for the stuff, I seen a wedding band and an engagement ring on my finger. And that was the point where I ain't trust my mother no more. And so that relationship ended. The one I had with my mother ended that day, man. And I just my life had changed forever, man. I was so angry after that, man. How dare you let another man take my place? You know what I mean?
So you was being selfish.
Yeah, because, you know, I was the man of the house for so long, my mother ain't have, you know. And so, but I found out that wasn't my job to be the man. Right?
And your mother had a right to be happy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask this one question, man. You know what I mean? How much more time do we have? I'm going to ask this question, right? We don't live in regrets, right?
Nah, we can't afford to.
We don't live in regrets, right? But if it's one thing, man, right, that you could think of at the spur of the moment, right now, right, through the rest of your life here in this recovery process, right? Because there's those who thoroughly follow what they never have to use, right? In this recovery process, there's one thing that you want to do in your life, right, or that you're doing, that you want to continue doing. What is one thing that you want to do right now?
Listen, man, you know, they say when the man in the family get better, man, the family get better, man. So I want to continue to get better and allow my family to get better. Man. I want my family, like, they ain't got to be in the recovery process, but they got to be in the healing process, man. I want to heal my family, man. I want to, listen, man, I want to have that family like Big Mama had, man, where we can all come together, man, and just have, you know, a wonderful time, man, like love on each other, man. You know what I mean? If I can say one thing, man, cause this is the No Matter What podcast, man. No matter what, man, you know what I mean. I'm gonna do my part, man, to try to make this a better place, man.
And you know, you spoke about healing real quick before we wrap up, right? And sometimes because we're in the healing process and we have healed from some things, right? We expect our family to be okay, right? But we got to understand, right? Some of the harm that we caused them, they're not going to get over just because we got clean and we living different. Absolutely. We got to give them time to heal and time to go and recover from the hurt that we caused them, right?
I say that all the time, right? That, you know, just because you good, don't, I mean, it take other people, they might take them longer, right? So, because you want to say I'm sorry, don't mean they have to be willing to accept it.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I understand that great as a man, we can make the people just not doing it no more. Yeah. And when they get better with what we doing, then we have to be patient. You know, I just want to say this, man. Like, you say I'm a vision of hope for you, man, but you're a vision of hope for me, man.
Thank you.
I see things you're doing, man, and you help me daily, man. You know, because you help me daily, because I gotta remember that my walk gotta match my talk.
Right.
I can't talk it if I ain't walking it, because people watching me, and you help me in that area, man. Because I see your commitment, your passion, and your willingness, right, which is genuine to help other people, right. A lot of people don't understand who you are, and everybody ain't supposed to understand, right. But when you want to help people, that's a God-given. That's something from God, man. You know what I mean? And we charge, man, by the God that we serve, man, to help other people, man. And that's what we do. Do we do it the way other people do? And I ain't gonna do it the way he do it. He ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. He do it, but I know where my heart is, and I know where your heart is, man. I see it, man. Like you was excited the other day when you said, "My man from California here. Yeah, he gotta hang with us." Yeah. Right? That's because back in the day you couldn't hang with us if you wasn't from our gang. Right. But now we want people to enjoy the benefits of the life we live in. That's what I see in you, man. Absolutely. So I'm going to say this to you, man, and before you say something final, man, don't ever stop being who you are.
Appreciate
it.
Right?
Don't ever stop being who you are, man. Always show the love and the compassion that you have, the empathy that you have for other people, man, because when you help them, you help yourself, man. And you don't help them, and when I see you help somebody, I don't see you looking for nothing in return. No. It's genuine, right? And I don't want you to ever stop being that person, man.
I appreciate that. So listen, man. God willing, I wake up tomorrow, man. I'll be celebrating 3 years. Man.
Hey!
You know what I mean?
You the hucklebuck.
Like 3 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't fathom that, man. 3 years ago, man. I couldn't get 3 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man. You know, anybody can do this, man. You just gotta be willing. You gotta be honest. You gotta let some people help you, man. So if you're struggling, man, if you're struggling in any kind of way, man, the key word is help, man. Let us help you, man.
Surrender.
I mean, let us help you, man. But yeah, so I'll be celebrating, you know what I mean, on June 1st, right in the area on 60th and Master somewhere, right? Holler at me.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
In the area.
In the area. But it's always gonna be on the O, baby. So no matter what, don't help somebody, and we love you.
We love you. Peace.